There is a stirring inside you that defies logic, an intensity you have tried to silence for years, urges you cannot explain, emotions that seem to erupt out of nowhere. You have called them flaws. You have called them weaknesses. Others have looked at you and called you unstable. But what if heaven calls them tools? Maybe you have spent quiet nights wondering why you cannot just be normal, why your heart feels heavier than those around you, why your thoughts run deeper, why your inner world never seems to rest. Maybe you have asked yourself silently, what is wrong with me? Chosen one, listen closely. What you have been ashamed of, those hidden addictions, those deep emotional waves, the habits you cannot seem to shake, they were never random. They are not your punishment. They are your preparation. The world does not understand the patterns wired into the souls God handpicked for high callings. Where they see chaos, heaven sees construction. Where they see imbalance, God sees initiation. You were not made to blend in. You were made to break through that fire inside you, that resistance you have battled. It is not a flaw. It is a signal, a sign that you carry a spiritual assignment unlike any other. And the very things you have tried to fix your intensity, your cravings, your emotional depth, may be the exact tools God Himself placed in you to shape the mission ahead. These inner storms are not signs of failure. They are signs that heaven has begun construction on your calling. So before you rush to judge yourself, pause. Before you try to silence what is rising inside, you listen. Because what you are feeling may not be chaos at all. It may be heaven awakening something sacred within you. If you are listening right now and you feel that stirring, that strange familiarity with this struggle, I want you to take a small step of faith. Type 111 in the comments below. Do it as a signal that you are awake, that you are listening, and that you are ready to understand the truth about who you are. This message is not a coincidence. If it reached you, it is because heaven has sounded the alarm. You are one step away from revelation. Have you ever felt yourself pulling away, not out of fear, not out of rejection, but because something greater was calling you inward? There is a kind of solitude that does not feel empty. It feels sacred. A quiet that does not crush you. It revives you. And while the world might misread it as withdrawal, heaven calls it preparation. This is the only addiction God permits in His chosen ones. A powerful, persistent draw toward isolation. At first, it confuses you. You are at the gathering, you are with friends, but something inside you fades. You hear the laughter, but it does not land the same. You try to stay present, but the weight of the spiritual pull becomes too strong. That is not avoidance. That is a divine summons. The people around you will not always understand. They will say you have changed. They will question your silence. They will ask why you are distant. But what they see as distance, God sees as alignment. He is pulling you away, not to harm you, but to heal you. Not to punish you, but to position you. Just as Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, so too are you being drawn into a sacred space. Away from the noise, away from the distraction, so that you can finally hear the still small voice that this world tries so hard to drown out. This addiction to isolation is not emotional instability. It is spiritual sensitivity. Because when heaven begins to download instructions for your next assignment, it requires more than focus. It requires separation. It requires stillness. In that stillness, He recalibrates what the world has distorted. He detoxes your soul from the energies that dim your discernment. He clears your field of vision so you can finally see the difference between what is good and what is God. Chosen one, you were not made to run with the crowd. You were built to walk with the cloud. And clouds do not scream. They move in silence. This is why your isolation does not feel like loneliness. It feels like home. It recharges you. It centers you. It brings you back to your true size. You start seeing clearer. You begin feeling atmospheres shift without a word being spoken. You intercept shifts before they echo in speech. It is not overthinking. It is spiritual radar. When God isolates you, He is not setting you aside. He is setting you apart. He is activating gifts you did not even know were inside you. Like Elijah in the cave, where God whispered not in the wind or fire, but in a gentle whisper, your spirit is being tuned to receive divine frequencies. You are not being distant. You are being downloaded. You are not shrinking. You are being sharpened. And just when the world thinks you have disappeared for good, that is when heaven begins building the next version of you. A version that cannot be manipulated by guilt. A version that cannot be controlled by shame. A version that no longer bends under pressure. A version that carries peace so deeply, chaos does not know how to find you. Some of you have felt this shift increasing lately. You have stopped vibing with rooms you used to enjoy. You have lost interest in conversations that once filled your day. You are not broken. You are not antisocial. You are being recalibrated for a new dimension of your assignment. You are being repositioned strategically by the hand of God. And here is the part that terrifies the enemy. The silence you are stepping into now is the very gate to the revelation you were born for. It is in this silence that the distractions break. The cycles snap. The generational curses lose their grip. Because when God gets you alone, He can speak without interference. And when you finally hear Him clearly, the confusion that has clouded your life begins to lift. This is why the isolation has been intensifying. It is not random. It is not seasonal depression. It is not just your mood. Something sacred is unfolding behind the scenes, something too big to be built in public. So God pulls you into private. He is protecting the blueprint while He prepares the builder. That builder is you. So do not fear the silence. Step into it. Do not resist the solitude. Receive it. Because when God finishes His work in the quiet place, you will emerge not just changed. You will emerge anointed. And when that moment comes, even the people who questioned your silence will feel the shift in your presence. Because the version of you that heaven is shaping now will carry a weight the world cannot deny. Stay with me. The next spiritual pattern will reveal exactly why this shift is accelerating and what it means for your next move. The second evidence is written in the language of the heart. There is a kind of intensity that does not announce itself with noise, but reveals itself in depth. It shows up in how deeply you feel joy, how sharply you sense danger, how quickly tears rise when others remain untouched. This is the second evidence. The second confirmation that the hand of God has marked a soul for a higher purpose. The inability to feel anything halfway. Every emotion arrives with force. Love rushes in like a flood. Grief settles heavy and sudden. Discernment strikes before reason can explain it. What feels like an emotional earthquake to you is often dismissed by the world as simply being too sensitive. But heaven names it something far more precise. It is perception. It is awareness. It is a spiritual capacity designed by the Lord Himself. Chosen one, this intensity is not a malfunction. It is a divine antenna tuned to frequencies most people never hear. While others move through life insulated, your spirit remains exposed. Alert, awake. That sharpness is etched into your inner world. You notice motives that remain hidden. You sense shifts before they surface. You sense the weather of souls before the forecast of behavior even begins. This is why everything reaches you first and why it reaches you louder. At times, this gift feels like mercy. Compassion pours out of you without effort. You sit with someone in pain and know exactly where it hurts, even when they cannot speak it. At other times, it feels like torment. A heaviness settles in your chest for no clear reason. You feel burdened, breathless, as though you are carrying a storm that does not belong to you. And that is because many times you are. What no one told you is this chosen ones absorb atmospheres. The Lord has shaped certain hearts to act as spiritual sensors. You step into a room and feel tension before a single word is spoken. You detect dishonesty even when the language is gentle. You recognize spiritual danger before it announces itself. This is not imagination. This is discernment. The world may tell you to ignore those feelings, to calm down, to stop overthinking. But the Lord never instructed his watchmen to sleep. Watchmen are not chosen for comfort. They are chosen for awareness. Your emotional intensity is not just a trait. It is a warning system, a shield, a supernatural radar designed to keep you one step ahead of harm, one step closer to truth. Because of this gift, you often carry burdens no one notices. You feel the ache of broken hearts. You sense suffering hidden behind polite smiles. You catch subtle shifts others overlook. It is exhausting, yes, but it is also sacred. Your heart was built to stretch further because your calling demands more capacity than an average life requires. The Lord enlarges what he intends to use. Emotional depth is not excess. It is expansion. This depth becomes a weapon in the hands of God. It sharpens intuition. It heightens discernment. It forms a spiritual warrior who recognizes danger before it manifests and offers comfort before collapse arrives. Think of Joseph, who could interpret dreams, not because he sought power, but because his spirit was tuned to meaning others could not see. Think of Nehemiah, whose heart broke at the sound of Jerusalem's ruin before any rebuilding ever began. Burden preceded assignment. Feeling came before action. That is the pattern of heaven. Still, there are quiet nights when the question rises, why does everything hit so hard? Why does normal feel impossible? The answer is simple and sobering. Normal is too small for the calling placed on your life. God uses this intensity to guide you, to warn you, to align you with people and places tied to destiny. It hurts deeply, but it protects fiercely. A heart that can be searched is a heart that can be trusted. The most shocking truth is this: the emotional storm you feel now may not be a burden at all. It may be a signal. Heaven often stirs the sensitive first. Shifts in the spiritual realm register early in those whose spirits are awake. What feels like internal chaos may actually be external movement. Something is changing around you. Something requires alertness, prayer, readiness. That is why your heart keeps being pulled into battles you never asked for. They were not assigned by chance. They were chosen. This second evidence is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to confirm you. The Lord does not waste sensitivity. He consecrates it. He does not silence deep feeling. He sanctifies it. And in time, you will see that every tear, every warning, every ache carried for others was shaping you into someone who can stand when it matters most. The third evidence is this: your heart will not let you walk away from people who would never run back for you. It is the relentless ache, the unexplainable urge to show up for people who vanish when you are the one in need, to give beyond reason, to love beyond logic, to rescue those who wouldn't even notice if you were drowning. And yet, there you are again, offering help no one asked for, offering love no one returns. offering yourself with nothing expected in return. Not because they earned it, not because they deserve it, but because something in your spirit refuses to ignore pain when it sees it. This is not weakness. This is evidence. This is the mark of the chosen. God has placed a fire in you that does not burn for recognition. It burns for restoration. The world calls it naive. Heaven calls it assignment. Your compassion confuses those around you, but heaven isn't confused. The Lord designed your heart not to measure worthiness, but to see souls. You have been sent not to reflect what this world has become, but to interrupt it. You are not giving out of emotional imbalance. You are giving because God wired you to be a bridge, not a wall. Someone who carries others over the gap when they can't carry themselves. Someone who stands in the broken places where compassion has collapsed. Your heart doesn't just notice pain, it leans into it. It sees the divine spark underneath someone's worst decisions. It sees potential where others see problems. It sees the image of God even in people who forgot they were made in His likeness. And yes, it hurts. It hurts to carry weights that were never yours. It hurts to love deeply and receive little in return. It hurts to be strong for others who never stay long enough to be strong for you. But this pain is not a mistake. It is part of the refining fire. Because before God uses someone to heal, He teaches them what it means to hurt. You are not just kind. You are called. You were not sent to survive the cold. You were sent to melt it with mercy. This is why your heart bleeds in places others just pass by. You carry a kind of spiritual endurance that cannot be taught in textbooks or church pews. It is something God builds quietly in souls who walk through life as healers in disguise. You don't carry a title, but you carry authority. You don't need applause, but you carry answers. Heaven sends you into shattered homes, unstable friendships, emotionally starved spaces. Not because you are the strongest, but because you are willing. Willing to show up. Willing to carry what others drop. Willing to love without needing repayment. But because you love deeply, you also break deeply. And in those moments when you feel emptied, when your soul is tired and your heart is frayed, you start asking the question most chosen ones ask: why do I care so much when they care so little? And the answer is this: because you were never loving for their response. You were loving from His Spirit. What you have been giving in secret, God has been counting in eternity. And heaven repays what humans ignore. Every act of compassion you offered in silence becomes a seed. And every seed grows. Not always where you planted it, but always where you will need it next. You think you have been bleeding for people, but you have actually been sowing for purpose. You think you have been losing, but you have been planting. You think you have been drained, but heaven has been preparing a harvest with your name on it. And here is the twist. The mystery no one sees coming. The people you are helping right now may not be the reward. They may be the lesson. They may be shaping your discernment, stretching your compassion, strengthening your obedience. They may be the training ground for the kind of grace you will need in the next season. You weren't called to be repaid by people. You were called to mirror the mercy of God. You are not being used. You are being shaped. You are not being overlooked. You are being positioned. You are not breaking down. You are being rebuilt into someone who can carry spiritual weight that others cannot even comprehend. This hunger to uplift others, even when they wouldn't lift you, is more than a personality trait. It is your spiritual fingerprint. You weren't made to echo darkness. You were made to interrupt it. You were sent to interrupt it with love that endures. And when the story is told, when heaven writes the final chapter, your silent sacrifices will speak the loudest. The private love, the quiet mercy, the unseen support, the forgiveness no one witnessed, the prayers no one heard. All of it will become a harvest that shakes generations. This is the third evidence. The proof not of how much you have been wounded, but of how much heaven trusts you to carry healing. The fourth evidence is revealed by an unrelenting hunger that will not let your soul rest. The craving for truth. This is not curiosity. It is not intellect. It is a fire placed deep within the spirit. A need so intense that it wounds before it heals and dismantles before it delivers. Those marked by God find it impossible to swallow lies, impossible to smile through deception, impossible to nod along when something inside them knows that what is being presented is not real. Half-truths suffocate them. Manipulation agitates their spirit. Polished words that hide corruption leave a bitter taste that cannot be ignored. The world often labels this resistance as rebellion or negativity. But heaven recognizes it for what it truly is: discernment, a spiritual instinct designed to prevent the chosen from settling for illusions. Such souls were never created to live on the surface where appearances are enough and comfort is king. They were formed to see beneath, beyond, and behind. While others accept explanations without examination, the chosen feel tension where things do not align. While others trust what looks good, these souls sense what is hidden. While many cling to comforting narratives, the chosen stand face to face with uncomfortable realities, even when those realities shake everything they thought they understood. This addiction to truth is not preference. It is survival. Alignment is oxygen to the chosen. Falsehood drains them. Pretending exhausts them. Even small compromises echo loudly in their spirit. But freedom rarely comes gently. For those chosen, truth often arrives like a storm, tearing away what is familiar before revealing what is real. God allows this hunger because without it, the chosen would suffocate in environments built on denial. This craving keeps them from being controlled, manipulated, or lulled into spiritual sleep. It is the safeguard heaven installs in those entrusted with greater responsibility. What intensifies this evidence is the timing. God often whispers reality to the chosen long before it becomes visible. A slight change in tone, a heaviness in the atmosphere, an uneasiness that appears in moments when everyone else is celebrating. While others call it overthinking, heaven calls it perception. The spirit recognizes danger before threats form, betrayal before it unfolds, contamination before smoke rises. That prudence is not learned, it is imparted. For many, this awareness once felt like a burden. Seeing ahead of others created isolation. Warning people who refused to listen led to frustration. Being early to the truth often meant standing alone. Yet with time, the chosen begin to understand that this ability was never meant to help them fit in. It was designed to set them apart. Truth seekers are not called to blend into crowds built on illusion. They are called to remain awake in a world that prefers sleep. This fourth evidence shapes an unshakable inner posture. Those driven by truth cannot be easily influenced by charisma, controlled by fear, or deceived by spiritual counterfeits. Their wisdom sharpens through exposure. Their intuition strengthens through refinement. They move through life with eyes open, not hardened, but clear. The chosen are granted insight, not for pride, but for positioning. Yet there is a deeper layer to this evidence, one that only reveals itself after the fire has done its work. The truths uncovered about the world pale in comparison to the truths God reveals about the chosen themselves. This addiction to truth does not stop at exposing others. It turns inward. It confronts patterns, wounds, motives, and callings. It strips away excuses and dismantles denial. It demands growth where stagnation once felt safe. This is why shrinking becomes impossible. Staying where one does not belong becomes unbearable. Playing smaller than purpose feels like spiritual suffocation. The chosen cannot lie to themselves, even when honesty costs comfort. Familiar places lose their grip when alignment is gone. Relationships built on false versions collapse under the weight of truth. This burning is not cruelty. It is purification. Refining requires heat, and heat requires exposure. The lies rejected are not only external, but internal. False identities, borrowed expectations, inherited limitations all surface to be dismantled. Each revelation prepares the chosen for the next assignment. Each uncomfortable truth clears the path forward. The craving that once felt like a curse reveals itself as guidance. It is how God steers without force, corrects without chains, and leads without coercion. And here is the mystery woven through it all. Every time this truth-seeking spirit stirs, heaven is preparing a revelation. Something hidden is about to surface. Something obscured is about to be exposed. Something misaligned is about to be corrected. This is why rest remains elusive until clarity arrives. The soul knows that revelation precedes redirection. The hunger for truth signals movement in the unseen realm, a shift that will alter direction and redefine destiny. Not the absence of struggle, but the refusal to live in illusion. Not comfort, but clarity. Not ease, but alignment. Those who carry this addiction were never meant to be deceived, controlled, or kept in the dark. They were chosen to walk in light, even when that light first reveals what must be burned away. The fifth evidence is the pressure you carry in silence. The weight no one else demands of you, but you still cannot put down. It is not coming from outside. It is not from critics or expectations or applause. This weight, this inner fire, is born from a place even you don't fully understand. You carry it like a mantle, not because someone gave it to you, but because your soul accepted it before your life ever began. This is not perfectionism. This is purpose pressing through your spirit. Others may see you functioning normally, but they don't see the storm happening inside. They don't feel the tension between where you are and where you know you are supposed to be. They don't hear the voice that whispers, "You were made for more," even in your moments of rest. The truth is chosen, ones don't settle. Not because they are proud, but because their spirit cannot breathe in mediocrity. You feel it, don't you? That urgency, that intensity, that sense that you must keep moving even when you are tired. That voice that says, keep going. Someone's breakthrough is tied to your obedience. You improve when no one is watching. You push when no one is applauding. You demand more of yourself than anyone else ever would. And no one truly sees how hard that is, not even those you help. But the divine record was marked the moment you didn't quit. And more importantly, heaven understands it. To whom much is given, much will be required. This isn't just a rule. It describes you. You carry a burden of excellence that has nothing to do with ego and everything to do with obedience. You can't explain it. You just know when you are off. You know when you have drifted even slightly from the center. You feel the spiritual discomfort instantly. Not because you are failing, but because your soul was wired for alignment. This pressure, this internal fire, it isn't punishment. It is preparation. It is how heaven shapes vessels that are meant to carry weight others cannot. You were never designed to live normal. You were designed to live called. And to the chosen, ease without assignment is spiritual erosion. Shrinking to fit in makes your spirit itch. Playing small makes your chest feel tight. Your system rejects what is out of sync with your assignment. You carry this invisible tension because your decisions ripple beyond yourself. You are the one others lean on. Even when they don't say it out loud, you are the anchor, the stabilizer, the quiet strength in rooms that don't even realize they need holding together. You are the one who holds it together when everyone else falls apart. And when you slip, when you falter even in private, you feel like you have disappointed not just yourself, but heaven. Not because God is angry, but because your soul has tasted what it means to be in alignment with divine purpose. And nothing less will do. You don't allow yourself to rest easily. You forgive others quickly, but judge yourself harshly. You will extend grace to everyone else while quietly drowning under your own expectations. But here is the truth no one told you. This pressure is not cruelty. It is activation. It is heaven drawing out a version of you that you have never seen before. Chosen ones don't grow in comfort. They grow in the furnace. And the pressure you feel is heaven's hand shaping you into someone who can carry not just your own calling, but the spiritual weight of others as well. God is not just building your skill. He is building your spiritual stamina. That inner voice that keeps saying you are not done yet is not your inner critic. It is the echo of who you are becoming calling you forward. It is the future version of you, the one who has already walked in the promise, reminding you that every painful step matters. Every hidden sacrifice counts. Every late night, every early morning, every internal battle. It is all part of the shaping. You weren't shaped for survival. You were forged for elevation. And here is the mystery. The weight you are feeling right now, the one that feels almost unbearable, is often the final stretch before breakthrough. The most intense pressure comes not when you have failed, but when you are being prepared to step into the next season. The enemy does not attack people going nowhere. And heaven does not waste pain on meaningless detours. So if you feel crushed, stretched, or worn thin, know this: God is getting ready to launch what He has been quietly building inside you for years. The pressure has a purpose. The silence has a reason. The intensity has a destination. The sixth evidence is written in resurrection language. It appears as an unexplainable, almost supernatural compulsion to rise again. Again and again, life has tried to bury you. Again and again, the weight was heavy enough to end the story. Yet the story did not end. You broke, but you rebuilt. You collapsed, but you stood. You passed through nights that should have erased your faith, seasons that would have swallowed most souls whole, and storms that carved scars no one else can see. Still you return to your feet. Not once, not twice, but every time. People see you standing now, but they never counted the times you had to drag yourself back from the edge. They admire the strength, but they never witnessed the silence where your spirit cracked. They call you resilient, but they never heard the whispered prayers in the dark and the moments when you could barely breathe and heaven felt distant. What they see as toughness was actually survival powered by something far beyond human capacity. This reflex to rise is not discipline. It is not personality. It is not optimism. No body carries that much endurance on its own. No mind sustains that much fire without breaking. This is divine reinforcement. Holy resilience stitched into the soul long before the first battle ever arrived. The unseen hand has been present in every collapse and every comeback. Each fall shaped you. Each loss sharpened you. Each disappointment carved wisdom into your bones. Nothing was wasted. While others crumbled under pressure, something inside you refused to stay down. It was as if a command had been planted deep within your spirit, older than fear and stronger than exhaustion. Rise. You rise because the assignment is not finished. You rise because someone is still meant to be reached through your obedience. You rise because the next chapter demands a version of you that can only be forged in fire. That is why certain blows felt personal. They were personal. The enemy does not waste energy on souls who plan to quit. Darkness targets those who carry future impact. Most people break and retreat. Chosen ones resurrect, again and again and again. You ascended without a spotlight. You endured without a roadmap. You rose without knowing how provision would come or how strength would return. And every time you stood back up, something changed. You did not rebuild the same way. You rebuilt upgraded. You did not return wounded. You returned wiser. You did not come back empty. You came back spiritually armed. That scripture, struck down but not destroyed, has been living itself out through your life, chapter by chapter. This is the sixth evidence. Resurrection is coded into your nature. Each comeback added weight to your spirit. Not arrogance, but authority. Authority that unsettles darkness. Authority that activates favor. Authority that signals to heaven that maturity is increasing. With every rise, your presence changed. Your prayers carried more gravity. Your discernment sharpened. Your endurance deepened. You became someone storms recognize and hesitate to approach the same way again. That is why your comebacks feel different from other people's recoveries. They are not returns to survival. They are transitions into higher ground. They are not recoveries. They are promotions. Restoration in the kingdom never returns a soul to the old version. It advances them. You may feel tired now, not weak, but weary. Not hopeless, but worn from rebuilding, exhausted from fighting battles no one ever knew existed. Understand this clearly. Fatigue often arrives right before elevation. The pressure you feel now is not evidence of failure. It is evidence of transition. You are rising into a level you have never occupied before, and the weight feels unfamiliar. Remember, these graves are not final places for the chosen. They are passageways. What was meant to end you became a threshold. What was meant to silence you became a testimony. What was meant to break you became training. The pattern is consistent. Burial precedes authority. And here is the mystery that completes this evidence. Every time you rose, the throne recorded your obedience. Not because God was unsure of you, but because endurance signals readiness. Rising without bitterness. Rising without revenge. Rising without surrendering faith. These are markers heaven looks for when entrusting greater assignments. So when exhaustion whispers that you cannot rise again, remember this truth. The strength that lifted you before did not disappear. It was never yours to lose. It was given sustained and renewed. Renewal is not a one-time gift. It is a covenant. Not that life spared you, but that life could not keep you down. Not that the road was easy, but that the call was stronger. Resurrection is not just something you believe in. It is something your life keeps proving. The seventh evidence is not something you can explain, only something you can feel. It is the pull, the divine tug on your spirit, the sacred tension that refuses to release you no matter how far you run or how hard life tries to silence it. This is not just spiritual sensitivity. This is an unbreakable bond, a connection heaven refuses to sever. A whisper from eternity that chases you down through noise, confusion, failure, and even rebellion. You may try to numb it. You may try to ignore it. But the voice of the Lord will find you. It always does. This is the seventh evidence, an addiction to His voice. And it is not always audible. In fact, it rarely is. But it speaks. It speaks when dreams pierce through your sleep and feel more real than the world you wake up to. It speaks when you're seconds away from giving up. and a sign appears so precise, so personal, that you know it couldn't be coincidence. It speaks in the restlessness that keeps you from settling where your soul doesn't belong. It speaks when everyone else is at peace, but you feel a stirring inside that won't let you stay still. Chosen ones don't chase God's voice. It is already woven into them. It is not a craving. It is a calling. You have followed him through things you didn't understand. You followed him when you had no map. You followed him through closed doors, shattered plans, and unexpected turns. All because something deeper than logic kept saying, go this way. You cannot disconnect because heaven has no intention of letting you walk blind. And even when you try to shut him out, when disappointment hardens your heart or grief clouds your vision, his voice still gets through. A thought that wasn't yours. A sudden clarity in the middle of the night. A knowing that rises in your gut and won't let you compromise. A peace that invades your panic. A warning that interrupts your comfort. You have learned the difference between paranoia and prophecy. This is not anxiety. This is alignment. This is God preserving you from battles you weren't built to fight, from people you weren't meant to trust, from places that would have drained your destiny. You have dodged traps not because you were clever, but because you were connected. This connection is why you never truly fit in. It's why crowds feel loud but empty. It's why comfort never lasts long. It's why compromise makes your soul ache. Other people can ignore signs. You can't. Other people can dismiss conviction. You can't. Other people can turn off discernment. You can't. Because every time you try to step outside of alignment, something inside you tenses. That tightening, that discomfort, that's not fear. That's heaven pulling you back into position. There is a reason you have always felt different. You were never meant to live a disconnected life. You were designed to be a receiver of divine signals, not just for yourself, but for others. That is why your senses are sharper. That is why your dreams are heavier. That is why your spirit responds to atmospheres before your mind understands why. This isn't a poetic promise. It is a pattern, and it has followed you your whole life. Sometimes God speaks by stirring. He turns your peace off like a switch when you are about to settle for less than what he designed. Other times, he removes what you didn't have the courage to walk away from. And then there are seasons when he speaks through heartbreak. Not to punish, but to protect. Not to destroy, but to redirect. When the door closed, he was guarding the calling. When the friendship ended, he was clearing your path. And still you are standing. You are standing not because you have always made the right choices, but because the voice of God has always found a way to reach you. And here is the mysterious part that few understand. The more intense your calling becomes, the clearer God speaks. Not necessarily louder, but unmistakably sharper. He speaks through patterns you can't unsee. He speaks through coincidences that repeat until you stop calling them coincidences. He speaks through quiet, knowing answers that arrive before you ask the question. If lately you have felt an increase, more dreams, more signs, more warnings, it is not your imagination. It is your preparation. Something is unfolding around you. Something that heaven does not want you to miss. So the pull intensifies. The whisper becomes a message. The message becomes a direction. The direction becomes a divine rerouting. Not just that you can hear God, but that you cannot unhear him. His voice is not background noise in your life. It is the anchor. It is the compass. It is the thread that has pulled you out of confusion, out of danger, out of spiritual sleep. And it is the same voice that is now calling you forward, one step closer to the place where your purpose becomes undeniable. So if it feels like heaven has been louder lately, it is not pressure, it is precision. You are not being overwhelmed, you are being awakened. Heaven has been stitching together all along what you once called brokenness. What others labeled as too much unstable or unexplainable was never a curse. It was confirmation. It was the fingerprint of the divine on your life. These 7 evidences, the pull toward isolation, the depth of emotional intensity, the unshakable compassion for others, the hunger for truth, the internal pressure to keep rising higher, the supernatural resilience in the face of collapse, and the unbreakable connection to the voice of God are not flaws. They are features. They are signs that you have been set apart for a purpose that ordinary minds cannot comprehend and common lives cannot carry. You weren't made to fit in. You were crafted to stand out because heaven designed you to be a disruptor, a vessel of light, a carrier of breakthrough, and a signpost for those still wandering in spiritual fog. These signs are not random. They are heaven's way of preparing you to carry assignments that stretch far beyond your comfort. You have been entrusted with divine weight, which is why the journey has felt heavier than most. It is why you feel more, hear more, sense more, and endure more. But make no mistake, none of it is wasted. Every storm you have survived, every tear you have cried, every night you laid awake wondering why you are built the way you are. It has all been working together to shape a version of you that hell cannot manipulate and heaven can use. So what do you do with this awareness? First, stop apologizing for the way God wired you. Your intensity is not the enemy. It is the engine of your calling. Stop minimizing your sensitivity, your conviction, your discernment. Instead, learn to steward it. Build rhythms of rest into your life, not because you are weak, but because your assignment requires sustainability. Begin to honor the inner signals that others ignore. When your spirit tightens, pause. When the atmosphere shifts, pray. When the voice of God speaks, obey, even when it makes no sense. Speak what God places in your heart, even if your voice trembles. Show up in love, even if it costs you. And rise again, even when no one is watching, because heaven is. Make space in your day for stillness, so the whispers of God don't have to compete with the noise. Cut ties with what dishonors your peace. Say no when your spirit screams yes to obedience. And remember, healing isn't always loud. Growth isn't always seen. Destiny doesn't always announce itself. But when it arrives, it settles like peace. It leads like fire. And it marks you like oil. So walk boldly now. Not as someone who is trying to become chosen, but as one who finally realizes you already are. The signs have always been there. Now it is time to live like you believe them. Heaven never stops speaking. Now you must refuse to stop listening. Before we close, I want to invite you into a moment of surrender. A moment to stop running, stop doubting, and start responding to the whisper that has been chasing you your entire life. This prayer is not just words. It is a turning point. Let it wash over you. Let it shift something deep inside. Father in heaven, we come before you, tired, heavy, misunderstood. Not because we are weak, but because we have been carrying weight that few people see. But you see it, Lord. You have seen every silent tear, every quiet comeback, every private prayer spoken in the dark. And you called us chosen, not because we are perfect, but because we are set apart. God, today, we lay it all before you. The inner battles, the sensitivity we once called a flaw, the ache to help others, the craving for truth, the pressure to rise, the need to rebuild, the inability to stay down. We give it back to you, not as broken pieces, but as offerings. We now see that what we thought made us weak was actually what made us ready. Lord, you have never abandoned us in the wilderness. You have whispered to us when no one else could hear. You have protected us through isolation, aligned us through conviction, and built endurance where others only saw pain. Thank you for trusting us with this spiritual weight, for believing in us, even when we doubted ourselves. Heal what has been wounded. Strengthen what has grown weary. Restore what has been poured out. We declare right now we are not shrinking. We are not broken. We are not too much. We are being refined. We are being repositioned. And by your power, we are rising. Jesus, we repent for the times we tried to hide what you designed as holy. We repent for calling our calling a curse. Today we embrace every part of it. Our discernment, our depth, our drive, our dreams. We surrender them all back into your hands. Mark this moment, Lord. Let this be the line in the sand. The day we stopped questioning if we were chosen and started walking like we believed it. Let heaven record this as a yes to the call, a yes to the cost, a yes to the quiet road of obedience. And even if the world doesn't understand, we know you do. That is enough. That has always been enough. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Thank you for staying with this message. If this prayer touched something deep in your spirit, don't let it stop here. Let your amen echo in the comments below as a bold statement that you are ready to step into your God-given purpose. Type, I am ready in the comments. Your testimony could be the breakthrough someone else is waiting for. Share what resonated with you. Subscribe to stay connected to more divine revelations and healing words like this. Don't miss what heaven is pouring out in this season. There is more coming, more fire, more clarity, more presence. This is your moment, and the heavens are watching how you respond. Remember, you weren't just made to survive. You were chosen to shift atmospheres. Until next time, stay rooted, stay aware, stay aligned. God is not finished with you. Not even close.